Any issues? Okay, Joe Jean. No second. All in favor? Okay, great. Okay, we have some people in attendance today. So John, if you could bring Eileen over first, that would be for item number 3, I believe it was. It's a tree request for 337 Sudden Valley Drive.
Okay, we'll bring her on over here. All right, Eileen, I brought you into the meeting.
Yeah, I just, before you get started, I just wanted to make sure that there's not confusion. So that proposal is just for a tree, a very minor tree trim. Because I noticed on the agenda, it said tree trim and removal, and there's not a tree removal for this proposal.
You're just limbing your tree?
Correct.
And you're not taking more than 25% of the existing canopy?
Correct.
Okay, so technically that wouldn't need to go through us, so I have no issues with that. Joe Jean, did you have any comments?
No, I have no issue.
Okay. Rich, any issues with this? Tree limbing? No. Okay. That's approved unanimously. So Joe Jean with the motion, and I'll second it.
Easy one for the first one today.
Yep, that made it easy. Thank you, Eileen. I appreciate it.
So do I need, can I go ahead and schedule then?
You
Or do I-
can.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, I've gone ahead and moved her out of the meeting.
Okay, let's go on to number 2 was Adam at 18 Clematis, and that is item number 11.
Okay, brought you over here, Adam.
Thanks for considering my proposal. Yeah, it's just a propane tank, and it's kind of,
Yep.
I don't know what to say about it either. Works or it doesn't. So it'll be up to you guys.
Yeah, I personally had no problem with the location, and the screening looked fairly adequate as is. But
Okay.
I don't know what Joe Jean or Rich might feel. Any comments, discussion?
I don't know much about propane tanks since I don't have one, but is putting it under a deck a safe place for them?
That's a good question.
What? I can answer that.
Yeah.
So by code, a 500-gallon tank has to be so far away from the house. But
It's 125 gallons.
yeah, you can do the 125 gallons can be right up against the house, and you can actually have up to 3. I went through this exact same issue, I don't know, 7 years ago, and I have the 3 125s right up against my house.
Yeah, we can expand someday, which is nice. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. But yeah, I don't know if it's allowed to be under a deck or not, but it's going to be right up against the house. So
Yeah, it can be under the deck as well. So
Okay.
on that size, yep, not a problem. So I didn't have any issues with it. Did anybody else?
The only thing I would recommend is if you talk to the propane tank company, see if they'll let you paint it. It'll make it blend in with your house. You can paint it the house color if you want, but
yeah, I've
makes
noticed.
life a little easier.
Yeah, when the tanks are match the house, it looks a lot better. So yeah, I was going to do that.
I'll move to approve.
Yep,
Second.
I would, okay, and then the second, the only comment I might have on that is obviously county, permits were required.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's it. So that has been approved unanimously with the one comment to obtain a permit when necessary.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Adam. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Bye.
Adam. Have a great day.
Okay, that's item 1, 2, and then number 3 was Michael, I think 45 Grandview,
Okay, I'll go ahead and bring Michael over at this time.
and that is item number 7.
Oh, number 7. Great.
All right. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, good morning. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time. We recently moved here, and we just realized our driveway is extremely steep, and some of our neighbors have spaces to park their cars on the street too, given maybe perhaps inclement weather or cars with really low ground clearance. So we're hoping to do something similar for our property, where we could park, I don't know what the requirements are from your point of view, but at minimum 1 car, obviously, and maybe 2. And we had somebody from Bulldog Landscaping come out and just kind of look at it and just make sure that we could do something that would be kind of minimally impactful. So the pictures that I sent are kind of just of kind of the long stretch of land that's part of our front property. And we could position it anywhere that you would think is minimally impactful. Or, I mean, I think there's a fire hydrant right next to our driveway, so we'd probably want to stay clear of that. But
Yeah.
other than that fire hydrant, I believe that's also where the power lines come in, and water is also kind of close to the driveway. So we probably just want to steer completely clear away from that area. But other than that, the person I spoke to, they said they would stake out all the utilities, make sure that nothing's even kind of close to where we would propose to do this. But that's essentially the information I have. There is a 12-inch drain pipe going under the driveway, and he also said would probably want to match that just to make sure that if there were drainage issues, it would be would go kind of match with what the driveway currently has. And I don't really have much experience with how bad Bellingham winters are, so maybe it's not a huge issue, but I think that if we got a big snow, I'd be a bit worried about coming up our driveway.
You're not making it up your street if we get a good snow. Good luck.
Maybe that's less comforting. It's one of the things we never considered when we moved into specific houses. Boy, that driveway is steep. So yeah, so I think ultimately it seems like a lot of our neighbors have something similar. I just don't know, like maybe those were built when that property was built and they had different kind of permits at that time, but we were hoping to something where we can just kind of pull our car into the kind of near off the road and not stress out about getting up the driveway.
Well, Michael, let me ask you, what is that? Yeah, I went by your place this morning, actually. What does that sign say? I came from the different direction. So you have a sign that's probably like 20 feet or 25 feet in front of that fire hydrant. What does that say?
Depending which way you're coming from, it just says speed bump ahead.
Oh, okay. So it's just a speed bump sign. Okay.
Yep,
All right. I was
it's a speed.
wondering what that was. So we don't have those everywhere. So the other problem I had, not necessarily a problem, a concern I had was we're filling in basically a great place that the water filtrates through the earth up there. And we want to put in just basically a 12-inch pipe and just let it drain right through there. It's not ideal for me. So that's one concern I had. But it's wide enough right there. The other concern is Grandview is such a small street, but you have the width right there. I felt that you're able to do that and make it work safely. But I don't know what Joe, Jean, or Rich feel about.
Is there something specifically I could bring back to the landscaper to say, this was their concern? Is there anything we could do to it? I'm not
Well,
sure.
let's hear what Joe, Jean, and Rich have to say on it. It's their opinion matters as well, and it's a vote thing, so it may not matter what I had to say anyways if I get outvoted. So, let's hear what they. Yep, go ahead, Joe, Jean.
We just denied the very same thing for a person on Windward, I think, either the last meeting or the meeting before.
Yeah, the one before. Yep, Windward. I remember that.
Yeah, I think I think the biggest issue you're going to run into where you're at, the utilities are going to be a problem for you if they're on that side of the street because they are buried utilities. I mean, running a new culvert and all that stuff, I mean, that's pretty standard. But you sort of end up in the Sudden Valley right away. And that utility corridor becomes a big issue. And that's where I think if you wanted to do this, I mean, because you've got a speed bump in the area as well, and I don't know how that would affect potential plowing if and when it happens. Usually the winters are about every 3 to 4 years. We get a fairly good winter where people aren't making it up driveways and not up roads, and that's why we have all the emergency parking areas. So I would think we would need to have something from the maintenance department letting us know whether or not that's whether that's a problem on the right of way right there as far as utilities and any issues that they might have with their snow plans. before we could vote on this. Because I mean, honestly, I don't have an issue with it. I think it's awesome that you have a spot where you can do it. And as long as you provide the culvert and stuff, I don't have a problem with it. But because it's on the Sudden Valley right away, it would have to be approved by the maintenance department.
Okay, something happened to my Zoom meeting. I mean, my audio where it cut out for a small portion of that, but it had to do with plowing. But so who would I speak to in the maintenance of, is that like a specific department I look for
Well,
the phone number and everything?
Yeah, first off, let's us decide. Now we can do this two ways. We can either deny it or defer it pending maintenance, or we can approve it pending maintenance. But I would like to hear more about Joe Jean's comment too, about the windward situation. And I think that might have been I think it was a room issue and things like that. But do you have issue with it, Joe Jean, with them?
Wasn't the windward like a 4-car driveway that they were putting in?
Actually, it was parking spaces for visitors or a large family, and they have a lot of visitors and stuff, and that's what it was for. It was, on the side of the property. And
Oh, yes.
it was probably a lot. It wasn't, all they had to do was go over the culvert and then onto their property. And we denied it because it was going over the culvert. And
Well, I actually had a couple of reasons for that denial, and in particular, because they had like that 8-foot swing wide open gate right there, and it felt like they could just drive straight from the street right to their backyard, and great place to park an RV or something. So that's why I had issues with it as well as going over the culvert. That's a beautiful little well-maintained area compared to what this looks like up there on Grandview.
Yeah, I had issues with it because of the gate, and I remember, if I recall, I thought it was like 20 feet wide by 40 feet long.
It's huge.
I mean, it was 4 cars.
Yeah, so this one,
parked there.
the length, so Michael, the length of this one, that property marker, you do have a big lot there. I couldn't tell how far beyond that sign that says speed bump your property went. So you want to put 40 feet of parking. So what do you, and I don't want you by the fire hydrant. I would say that right off the bat. You got to be like 25 feet off the fire hydrant. It would be my guess. Normally 15, but I don't know.
Yeah, we can be extremely liberal with that spacing and have as double whatever the minimum is.
Okay. So we can move to approve if you wanted to, and pending maintenance approval. Because it is in the ROW for sure. There's no doubt about that. And the utilities are going to be a major concern.
Yeah, I would do that. I would actually be on board with that. I can move to approve pending approval from Sudden Valley for the right of way and utility corridor. And Michael, just so you understand, the reason stuff like this is rarely approved is a space this big, 40 feet long, is big enough to park an RV. And one of the no-nos in Sudden Valley is parking RVs and boats at your house. And I know there's a few violators out there, but that's one of the reasons they don't typically allow this stuff. That's why it has to be approved. And there's a bunch of hoops to jump through to get it.
No, that makes sense. And we can go shorter than 42 if that would be helpful.
Yeah, and the maintenance manager, when he reviews it, may have a suggestion like that. So that's why if we can approve it, or I'm moving to approve it pending their approval. And so if they want modifications or they want it shorter or moved or something, then that would all be part of the approval process. And that would go through the Sudden Valley staff. So that's my motion, is I move to approve it pending Sudden Valley's approval, the maintenance manager.
Okay. I'll second. So let me, there's Joe Jean.
I'm going to abstain.
Abstain. Okay, it's approved by majority, Michael. So
I'm wondering
you got
how
it
that's
pending the comments.
all right. Thank you. Just a quick follow up. Where do I start with finding the phone number for that?
Deb Corbett, and she's on here, or John, they can direct you on the right person to contact next.
Okay, I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate your time this morning.
Yep.
Okay, and next would be, did you hear anything, John, from NF and Anthony? No,
They're
no
number
chat.
12.
Yes. Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, it's item number 12?
32 Hollyview.
Okay, let's go to item number 12 then. 32 Hollyview, item number 12. 3 Wisteria. I can get it. Oh, this is the paint.
Hiya, can you hear us all right?
Yep. So sorry about that. Just brought you over. We can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, lovely.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for considering. This has been a great, I'm learning a lot about snow and propane tanks here, so this is really good. I feel like I'm going to fit in some follow-up questions.
Buy an all-wheel drive car. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, you guys, yeah, we're from California, so your expressions about
Me
snow
too.
are cracking me up. Oh, hello, yay.
El Dorado Hills, California.
Oh, crikey, yeah.
So this is a repaint.
Yeah, we
Comments?
just moved in.
Is it what color was the house, or is it right now? I know there was the red paint on the porches and decks, but
Yeah, it's kind of a gray green, mint
Yeah,
gray
okay, yeah.
green kind of thing. We did notice there was some pressure treated wood on the deck railings, which I presume we can't power wash and strip. So we might then just move to paint that matching paint color, and then just stain the wood that's not pressure treated, like whatever's healthiest and simplest.
yeah. Well, depending how old the pressure treated wood is, you might still be able to clean it and stain it. It just depends on how.
Oh, okay. The painter will know then.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have a problem with either of these colors. Anybody else?
I don't have a problem.
Wow, really? I'm shocked. Okay, so I'm the only one, and it doesn't matter. You will be approved by majority here, but yeah, it's not, to me, it's not a subdued color, black and black.
Oh, no, that's why I kind of put a description, because the online paint chip looks really dark. In the sunlight, it's like a navy blue.
Yeah, it
Is
looks
it?
different. If you put in the paint code and go to
Yeah.
Benjamin Moore's site, it looks a lot different.
Yeah, that's why I put a descriptor, because I thought this looks like not the color it is. So, yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, the propane tank, you said we could paint that. It kind of stands out. Like we were hoping just to kind of hide in the shadow of the trees. Is it possible to paint that as well, like you were mentioning? For
Yeah,
the other?
you can paint it the house color if you're, because most propane tanks are leased. So
Right.
as long as the tank is either yours or whoever you're leasing it from is okay with it, you can paint it the house color.
Okay, so you just have to contact like Northwest Propane or
Yeah.
something. Okay.
Either that or you can plant vegetative screening around it. That's-
lovely.
That's the
Okay.
other option.
Great.
2129.
Okay, can we get a motion on that?
I'll move to approve.
Okay, that's Joe Jean, moved to, this is 32, Joe Jean. And Rich for the second?
Yep, I'll second.
Oh, cheers. And
Okay, it's approved by majority.
and as a side note, Rich, what's the snow condition on our street?
Let's see, which street are you on? You're
We're
on
in
Hollyview.
Yeah.
It really, it really depends. I've lived in Sudden Valley since 2003. And I think the worst I ever saw it was 2009, where we had about 28 inches of snow, and I had to drive my wife to the hospital
Nice.
downhill to have a baby in the middle of that in February of 2009. And there was no plowing, just to be very clear. There was not a plow at that time. So we've done a lot better in more recent years, but you'd have to look at the map to see. There is a map, I think it's posted online, that will tell you what priority level your road is. And
great.
so if you're close to one of the main roads, you might get a little bit of snow plowing, but if you're off a little ways from those main routes, it may be a bit, sometimes up to a couple of days before your road sees a plow.
Got it. Cheers. Thank you for the side note. I feel like I'm going to start logging into these meetings just in general.
Well, welcome to the area.
Oh, thank you guys.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate your time this morning. And you've been
All right.
approved, by the way, majority.
Cheers. Thank you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. I'll go ahead and return you to the attendees here. All right.
And then if you could bring John over, I
Yeah.
believe he's the last one, right? Attendees for,
We'll go ahead and bring John Gordon on over here. All right, John, I've brought you to the meeting.
Hi, good morning.
good morning, John. So which one are you here for first?
There are two. One is just an extension request for 18 Rose Ridge Loop.
Okay, let's do that one first. That's item number 13, 18 Rose Ridge Loop. It's an extension. Let me find it real quick. Oh, that's the one right before the paint. It's not. Hang on, I'm still looking for it.
Anticipate landscaping before the what? Oh, before the rainy season. John, did he already get a county extension?
Yes, I put it in the description,
Yeah, it's a 10/10/2022.
right?
All right, so I would move to approve the extension to match the county extension.
I'll second.
Okay, that's approved unanimously. That's 18 Rose Ridge, and that was item number 13. So that's been approved, and that was Rich and Joe Jean. Okay, John, and the next one?
3 Wisteria
3 Wisteria.
Lane, I think.
Going backwards, yeah, 3 Wisteria.
What number is that one?
10.
10. Oh, okay, there it is.
So this had a final inspection a few weeks back. And there were a number of items that Joel dinged. But the one I'm concerned about with this request is that the landscaping installed didn't really match the original approved landscaping. And he suggested that I submit a construction change request and then integrate with that the retaining walls that were built, which also didn't appear on the original approved plans. And at least part of the retaining walls extend into the right of way and would require approval by the maintenance department.
Yeah, I myself have no problem with the changes. I had a good conversation with Joel on the project, so I'm okay with it. But I don't know what Joe Jean or Rich, if they have any comments or concerns.
Did Joel approve having the retaining wall in the right of way?
He can't technically approve of that. He has approved of the changes. He thought there was actually it was more beneficial than not. And he thought there was no issue with the changes as far as construction and what we're looking for as far as ACC and Sudden Valley wise.
How far into the right of way does the wall go?
John, can you answer that?
I would say 3 feet, maybe.
Yeah, I went by and looked at this one. It was not very far.
Yeah. And it was necessary, yeah.
And it's removable if there was ever anything that had to happen there, the part of the wall could come out pretty easily.
Yeah, I think in this sort of circumstance, there needs to be some sort of provision that the owner, whoever buys the house, is aware that if anybody, utilities or whatever, needs to access the right of way, they have the right to dismember that.
Yeah, that's what happened on any of them.
To access, whatever they need to get to. And it would be up to the owner to
disclose
the
that.
expense of restoring it. So,
And it'd be up to the seller to disclose that information.
Call from Spam Hidden.
So any other discussion or comment?
Call from Spam Hidden.
Stop this. Okay. All right, no. So I would move to approve. And I would move to approve with the comment that it needs to go to maintenance for their approval too, and just for documentation on their part, so they're aware of it.
I'll second.
And Joe Jean second. And that's
Do I vote yay too?
okay, great. So it's unanimous. And that's 3 Wisteria. So that's unanimous. John, it's been approved with the changes on our side, and now Sudden Valley staff. So we need to get this in our minutes. So Deb will have to, or John will take this to maintenance and get them to them so they're aware of the situation and they can approve it on their side.
sounds good.
Okay, John, thank you very much. I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Okay, so now we're back to regular agenda items. There's no other attendees in the audience that are here for things. So item number 4, I believe, is what we're on, which is 20 Longshore Lane, a fence request. 20 Longshore.
Which one? Oh,
20 Longshore Lane, it should be item number 4, a fence request.
I must have been sleeping. Did we approve number 2?
Item number 2, we did not. Okay, good. Thank you, Jodine. Let's go to item number 2.
I actually have it approved on my note taking. And I
Yeah.
thought, I
do as well on mine, but let me take a quick look. Oh, okay, yeah, so I met with him this morning. This is on Marina and Spinnaker. So a couple questions I have on this one. I don't have a problem with the trees being removed, and I guess that's what we'll look at first, is a tree removal. So I had no problem with that. So that is item number 2. So I'm good.
to approve with county permits.
Oh, good. Okay. I'll second that. So that's Joe Jean, and I'm writing with a pen. Let me change to pencil. Joe Jean and Keith. And that's approved with county permit.
Correct.
And Rich, any comments? Are you in on it? You good?
No, I'm good.
Okay, that's been approved unanimously. Okay, item number 4, and then I guess we'll come back to 15. So item number 4 is going to be 20 Longshore Lane. And that is for a fence request.
I'll move to approve.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm at him. Okay. So. Yep, I had no problems with it. No comments. So, okay. Rich, any comments on 20 Longshore Lane fence request?
I didn't have an issue with that one, I don't believe. Because it was the same, it's basically what's right out of our policies, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I was okay with that one.
Okay, so that's Joe Jean and Keith, and that's unanimous. That's item number 4, 20 Longshore Lane has been approved unanimously. With yeah, as submitted, yeah, right out of the book. Okay, that moves us to item number 5. That's 15 Marina Drive again. This is for the exterior alteration request, which is going to be a little bit of retaining wall, some concrete patio.
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
Which one was this? Item 5?
This
Yeah.
is- Yeah, 15 Marina Drive, item number 5.
Oh yeah, I don't have a problem with that one. Just as long as they have the county permit. Because if they're doing concrete, it's not permeable or pervious or something like that. I forget what the ruling is there.
Yeah, so, okay, that's one concern. The only concern I had, I met with them this morning, and that was it, their lot coverage. So it's a big lot. I will say that it is a big lot, but I was concerned about that. So we did talk about, there's other alternatives for that deck, that patio to try to find some impervious surfaces, or I also talked about water retention on site, stormwater, just because he's right there by the lake. And, but hey, I told him, let's wait and see how it went. So we got a motion to approve with Joe Jean. Pending and with county permit if required. And then another concern was, I don't know how you feel about this, Rich, is part of it's in the right of way. So it's gonna be in the,
Oh, is that right?
well, he should have, so he's on the corner, so it should be 25-foot setback off of Marina, and I thought 25-foot setback off Spinnaker, but right now his his house is maybe 20 feet off of Spinnaker.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't there could have been a variance or something when they did that. Well, but so yeah, technically I guess it could be in the right of way there, but it's a paver patio as I understood it.
Correct. And he's not
Which-
touching the culvert or the ditch or anything.
Yeah.
He's just cleaning it up, actually going to get rid of, he does want to remove those junipers that are on that corner. He wants to take all those out and then replant some stuff, but we didn't get into what he wants to replant there, and then put the rock, stack the rock back up.
Yeah, and the junipers are all he can remove those without permission even, because those
Yeah.
are small. So I don't as long as he knows that he's starting to get close to that setback, but my thing is, if you're going to be in the right of way, it can't be a permanent structure, I guess is what goes through my mind. And so if it's pavers, those are easily picked up and placed back, if something happens where he has to do construction or run a sewer line or whatever. So that's kind of where my feelings are for if people get onto the edge of the right of way like that.
Well, then
The same
let's
is for the parking areas and other stuff.
make that suggestion. Let's go ahead and make that suggestion that he look into pavers instead of pouring concrete there. Because it'll serve the same purpose as what he's looking for.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't I wouldn't be on board with him pouring any concrete. I would be okay with pavers.
Okay, so we'll make that recommendation that pavers in the ROW area. He can do what he wants on his stuff, right? But we're concerned about the right of way.
Well, as long as he gets that approval, because it's gonna be tough being that close to the lake. If he increases his impervious surface, I'm not sure what his current lot coverage is, but
All right, so then our motion would be moved to approve and by Joe Jean pending county approval. And we recommend pavers being used for the patio area. Not a mandatory, but you understand he's in the right of way. Maybe that's the other comment we make. Understand that some of this could be in the right of way.
yeah, it may actually be easier for him to get approved with if he builds that up with like a pervious stone and then puts pavers on top of it. The county might say yay for that.
Okay, so Rich, you good with seconding that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, so that's approved unanimously with comments. And his intent was all good in their conversation this morning. He's well aware of water runoff and storm and stuff, so.
When you talk to him, is he going to remove that riprap or is he going to just put the wall right above it?
right above it. So it's
Oh, wow.
going, yeah, it's going right above it, just on the outside of the columns of his patio, of his deck footing.
Yeah.
Is where it's going. And then he's filling that area with just gravel, which will look way better than it does right now.
Yeah, I think, yeah, and I think that's the better way because then that doesn't affect his pervious surface areas.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, he was pretty good in understanding, and it's gonna look good, I'm sure, when he's done. All
Okay.
right. So that one's been approved unanimously, and that was item number 5. Okay, item number 6 is 6 Lake Louise Drive. And that one is for removing her existing decking in their backyard and
Yep.
gravel. They have some gravel part of it and the existing deck, and replacing it all with pavers.
Yep. I will move to approve as long as it's in the same footprint. I believe everything stays the same.
It is in the same exact where they're at. They're currently contained by a retaining wall, and it's going inside that area.
I'll second.
Okay, that was Rich. And let me write over here. I make my notes in too many places. That was 6. That's Rich and Joe Jean. And that's unanimous. That's approved as submitted. Okay. And then Anna taking care of some drainage. There's some drainage issues there that she's aware of. So they're taking care of that at the same time. Okay, item number 8 is 29 Valley Crest Drive. And that is exterior alteration request. 29 up here. Oh, this is to add the 10 by 10 storage shed. Yeah, I had no problems with this. But you guys open for discussion? Comment, location, issues? Anything?
I'll move to approve.
Was this which one was this? This was item 8.
This is item number 8 at 29 Valley Crest Drive, and this one is for the shed and the painting of the house. He kind of has 2 on the same deal.
That's right. In the shed, if I remember, so the shed's not visible from the house, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hidden, yeah, from the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying not to turn my head all cattywampus here. The only comment I had, because it said the storage shed to the northeast side. So, and it said paint and roof to match the home, but it also needs to be the same type of siding. It needs to match the home exterior design.
Good point. Good point. I failed to make that comment. That's a good one.
And
so siding to match house. Or just shed to match house, siding, paint, roof, everything.
Yeah. And then I didn't see the paint color is purple that they're proposing. Agapanthus is it's sort of a lavender-ish color. And so I wasn't sure because that's the primary color, and then white trim. So I didn't know how everybody felt about a lavender color. That's definitely doesn't fall in our pre-approved colors.
Well, I got to be honest. I got some issues with some of our pre-approved colors. I'm not sure how they got pre-approved.
Well, and we can add that as an agenda item for another meeting to review the pre-approves, and if we want to add or remove colors, we can do that. But that was my only question with that color, just because that's pretty far. I mean, it's very subdued, but I mean, if you just put in the paint code and Google it, you'll get the color. And I mean,
that's an exterior color.
Yeah, it's interior or exterior. That's what it said. I mean, that's what the request says. Paint the main house and the storage shed, and so that agapanthus is basically a lavender purple.
It is, huh? I don't know, but you guys approved that black one, or kind of black to me it was. So
Well,
I have trouble
yeah.
with paint. I'm not good with that. I usually try not to get too involved with it because that's,
Well, I looked at the Benjamin Moore one as well. I mean, I like to see them on my computer screen, and I know that can differ based on, you know, sunlight and shading and stuff. But like I said, this one definitely. I mean, it's a lot. It's further outside the norm than I think we've gone in the past. It's not, in my opinion, it's not an off-putting color, but it's definitely not a color that will blend in with the forested environment.
You know, I just looked it up on the web, and it calls it a purple paint color, and it kind of looks like a gray purple.
Yeah, I would describe it as like an Easter egg color, like a purple Easter egg, a light purple. So I mean, I'm not on board with the body color of the house. The trim color is fine. That's just white. But I mean, I'm okay with the shed. They have to match the construction and color of the home, but I'm not okay with the primary color for the body of the house.
Joe Jean.
I'm okay with the body color.
And they want to paint it.
Sorry, Keith. Or
Great. How dare you guys put this on me? Now so I see it as kind of like a gray blue, but I do see it says purple paint color. Does anybody see gray blue, or is that just me and my monitor?
Well, the blue house that's next to it, you mean?
No, I'm just looking at the images for Sherwin-Williams 9066.
Oh no, it's purple. It's yeah, I mean it is very purple on my screen. Well, yeah, I mean as purple as it can be, I guess. Like I said, my description is lavender, but that probably isn't correct either. I mean, and I guess that's kind of where we're at on, I mean, because the house right next to him is almost robin egg blue in the picture that they submitted. I'm not sure that color was approved either.
Oh my. Wow. This will be the Easter egg basket street. We have all the pastel houses. Yeah, I'm not good on colors, man. I'm really not. Some things I think they're gonna look hideous, they end up looking not so bad, you know, and so I feel bad telling someone they can't do a color and then it ended up looking really good. And I feel horrible saying you could do a color and then it ends up looking terrible for the neighbors. That's why we need more people on this committee.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I don't like the exterior color, but then for me, again, you know, the house right next door is a bright non-blending color, and now you're gonna have two houses in that area that don't blend with the natural environment. That's what the policy says, is that we're supposed to be approving colors that somewhat blend, and I don't think that it does.
Okay. And Joe Jean, you're approving still.
yes.
He hasn't changed your mind. Geez, Rich, you make a good argument. But like you said, I got a problem if the house next to him was not approved and they just painted it on their own, and now someone's trying to get approval and we're telling them no because we're comparing it to a house that we're not sure was painted with approval. So I don't want to use that like as a reason, just because the house next door is painted a color that I would think we would not approve.
Well, that's why I said the policy says what we're supposed to be approving colors that blend with the forested environment or the natural environment. And
I have an idea.
Okay.
Why don't we ask them to paint, you know, a few feet or, you know, just a foot of one board or something, so we could see what the color looks like and drive by and check it out.
That's a great idea.
On the house, and before the ACC used to suggest people do that.
Yep,
Now we can
absolutely.
see what the color looks like in different environments, and instead of just
Yeah, I'd be on board with that.
Yep, me too. I think that's a great idea, Joe Jean. So we can move to defer this one. Pending they get a sample painted for us on the house, buy a little quart of paint and do a little area or something. So I'm in agreement with that as well. So that would be, so we're in approval on the shed. As far as location and then doing a 10 by 10 shed. So the shed, they should have been broken into two different requests.
actually they are.
Oh, they are?
Well, they're both, it's item 8 and item 9.
That's
Even though
that's a variance for a shed, so I was good with that, but I would like to paint on one thing and the shed on one thing. So the paint, we could say no on the paint pending, we're gonna say it anyways, but so since they put them together. So item number 1 on his request is a shed, and we're gonna in agreement to approve that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's approved with the condition that the shed is to match the house siding, roofing material, and color. Approved with conditions. Shed the best match as possible to the house. That's the main scheme there. Then item number 2 is the paint. So the paint, we're going to defer the paint, or we can deny it until they paint us a sample. Why don't we just do that? Say denied until.
Well, I think if we deny it, that's basically saying we're not going to approve it. I would rather defer and ask for a paint sample.
Okay. That makes sense.
For the primary color. And of course, like I said, the secondary color is spatial white for the trim. That's
yeah, no brainer there. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to defer the paint until sample provided on home. Sample, yeah, on home. And it could be like a 1 by 1, a 2 by 2 foot area or whatever. We're just recommending we need to see it on site and see what the color looks like. Okay, that's fair enough. And that was Joe Jean and Rich with the second. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and that's unanimous. That's Joe Jean, Rich, and that's unanimous. Okay, item number 9 is actually the variance request for the shed, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's just because he's moving it from where he put it on the first one.
yeah.
Man, I got no problem with that. Do you?
Yeah.
No.
I'll move to approve the variance request.
Okay, that's Rich and Joe Jean for a second.
Yes.
Okay, that is approved unanimously. That was number 9. And that was Rich and Joe Jean. Item number 10, we've heard. 11, 12, and 13, we've heard. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, item number 14 is 3 Stable Lane, not 35 Stable Lane, but 3 Stable Lane. And it's an exterior alteration request. Over to that one's a screen. Actually, we already looked at that. And so, Joe Jean, that came up a couple weeks ago, and your comment was, does she need a variance request? And so I went up to look at it. I said during that meeting, I'll go take a look at it after the meeting. The problem is the address was incorrect. So the address is a new build, right? So I was like, okay, this is not correct. I don't understand how this is working. And it came back through again on this agenda. So I happened to meet with her this morning on this one. And they do need a variance request. So you are correct. Her house is about 6 foot off the property, and this is going to be a 4 foot wide panel. So she's going to need that 3 foot wide variance request. So my recommendation, and this is to hide a generator, propane tank, and stuff like that. So it's in a great location. I had no issue with it. I would recommend that we move to approve pending her getting her variance request, which I told her to contact Deb. She should be contacting her this morning to get the variance request.
I thought we didn't allow lattice.
Well,
I
that's
thought
something we
this-
could talk about.
Yeah, I mean, if the variance request is presented, I mean, I guess we could look at it from that angle, but I recall from other meetings that lattice wasn't, I don't think lattice was something we normally approved. I mean, because there's a lot of ways that you could screen that with a wooden panel that's not lattice work.
Yeah, absolutely. You could always screen it too with vegetation.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of lattice around houses.
Yeah, I've seen a lot
at the
too, but
bottom of decks.
a lot of it can look junky after a while if it's not taken care
Yeah.
of. But yeah, I've seen a lot of it too, particularly like under decks going from post to post, they're hiding screening
Yeah.
basically. It doesn't look very nice. But
I thought there was something in the policy because I I remember this conversation from years ago, and it was during new construction, and we were telling builders, no, you can't just slap lattice over a concrete wall and call that a cover. You have to actually do something decorative.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So,
so-
yeah, in that case.
And
this
that's kind of where this is looking. It's like, okay, well, it's a screen, but it's just lattice. And so I thought there was something in the policy. I could be wrong. It may have changed, but I remember there being a discussion about lattice not being something that we approve typically.
And her picture looks like it's going to be kind of tall. Does she
It's
need,
a 6 foot tall.
does she need it that tall? I mean,
That's the size of the panels. I think she said they came in 3x6 or 4x6.
Yeah, 4x6.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see anything in here. It's particularly about lattice. But they obviously we push the hedges, with using that kind of stuff. Part of her concern was she was worried that someone may try to steal her generator.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why I think she wanted more of a fence type lattice thing.
Is it a portable generator?
No, no, it wasn't.
I think if somebody was trying to steal my generator, I'd know that they were doing it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's got to be really small if you're concerned about theft because they're usually bolted down to something.
Yeah, they're pretty difficult typically. Yeah, I don't see anything about lattice in particular, but it's up to you guys, That's why we need more people on this committee. Make sure to get the word out there. It's great to have 5 or 6 people talking about the same things, getting different ideas.
Yeah, let's see.
Um,
I was just trying to think. It was under the.
Well, like screening, it just says, shall be 6 foot high, no longer than 8 foot long. That could be solid screens are discouraged. But that's for privacy screens, not in this type of, And then always recommend landscape, which we do. And we could just say that, we recommend landscape screening and not putting a lattice fence up, a piece of lattice panel.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just am thinking in terms. I know it's been talked about. I would classify it as a privacy screen, just because of the shape and size.
Well, if you want, then we could tell her no lattice and just say you're welcome to put up a privacy screen if you'd like. Adhere to the book. Where is our privacy screen? Got a picture of the privacy screen in here. Do not see one. Yeah, we could recommend her that, to put up a privacy panel, lattice, no to the lattice work.
Yeah, I mean, so the variance is for, for the encroachment into the setback, right?
Yeah, that's what she would need to ask. Yeah, because she's like 6 foot off the property line.
Yeah.
There's 12 feet difference between her house right now and the guy's fence next door, or partial fence he has up, 12 foot. So that's why I came up with the 6, just roughly figuring it. Look, no property corner marked,
That would be my preference. Is I would move to approve a screen, but it can't just be a lattice panel. It needs to be the
privacy panel.
Decorative in nature, I guess. I don't know how to word it.
Yeah, that's why we need, it's a good point though. We don't have it in our appendix. We should have it where they could go look and see what the privacy panels look like.
Yeah, because we specifically say for privacy screens, solid screens are discouraged. And what a lot of people take that as, at least what I've taken it as, is especially because you can go like Home Depot and Lowe's and buy a panel that's like 6 by 6 feet tall by 8 feet wide, but the top foot of it has a diamond pattern lattice, which gives you a privacy screen, and it's not entirely solid, but it's also sort of cookie cutter as well. And I think that when you see that stuff in these stores over and over, you get the idea that, oh, well, that's something that's allowed. But I remember, like I said, from years ago, this discussion coming up because we had builders that wanted to use lattice as screening, and we said no. But I can't recall the specific properties or where in the policy came from.
Okay, so we are in right now a deny as submitted.
So we can I can move to approve it with a variance request for the setback, and the lattice design is not approved. It needs to be a different type of screening.
I'll second that.
Okay, so can be approved with variance request and no lattice. And then check into privacy panels. Privacy panels. Okay, so we're going to deny as submitted, but let her know that it can be approved with the variance request as long as it's not lattice.
Yep.
It's not lattice. And then we recommend that she looks into privacy panels.
Yeah, that'll be easier.
As an alternative. Okay. Okay, and that was Rich and Joe Jean, and that is unanimous. And that one is 3 Stable Lane. Okay, that's Rich and Joe Jean. And that's unanimous. Okay. That takes us down to item number 15, which is 2 Jasper Ridge Lane, exterior alteration request.
The only issue I had is he doesn't say what kind of cover he wants. Is this like an awning or?
Oh, that's exactly what I put in my notes. Says covered with what? Yeah, so this one just has to be deferred until we actually know what he's trying to do here.
Yeah, because what I see in my head is 4 2x4s and one of those clear corrugated panels.
Yes,
that's what I see. I've
I can see
had that happen.
All right, so we're going to deny as submitted, or we just defer until he shows us what he's.
Yeah, I would say defer until we know what the construction will be. We need to know construction material and what the roof is going to be. If it's going to be solid, clear, if it's canvas. These days, you can almost fit a retractable awning in some of these spaces.
Okay. So this is deferred. This is Rich, Keith, and Joe Jean, all of us. Okay, so that's unanimous. That's 2 Jasper Ridge is going to be deferred. And that's Rich, Keith, and that's unanimous. Okay. Item number 16, 143 Harborview Drive, exterior alteration request.
Oh, they're just replacing their siding, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna look.
Decking will be
super-
replaced too with a composite. And the railing.
Oh, I don't have a problem. If I've had a rotten deck before, so I don't have any problem with replacing with composite. Fibron is the product from where they Home Depot. That's their brand. The black metal railings look nice with composite. Front doors upgraded. I don't have any problems with it.
What about the color? Tricorn black.
Yeah,
I think that's pre-approved, isn't it?
It is, and that's one of them I have
Yeah.
a problem with.
It's in there.
It's
Well,
like-
and I think the intent when that got approved, the intent was that people were wanting to do their trim as black, which can look good on some colors.
Yeah,
And that's why it became a pre-approved color. And then it's shifted to people using it for the body color. It's not full on black. It's a really deep gray, but still. So I mean, it is in the pre-approved, so I don't think there's anything we can do about that right now.
no, we can't, and that's what gets me. So we just approved today, like to me, like it was like a black on black house, and actually I've seen a couple of those, and you might find 1 or 2 that look really good if they're super modern looking and stuff, but
Yeah.
they just don't fit everywhere.
Well, this one I was taking as he's replacing that siding up top, not the whole house. So it said the 7-foot reveal is they're going to do hardy plank horizontal and then paint the reveal the tricorn black. That's the way I read this.
Yeah, 7-inch hardy planks.
Oh, is it 7-inch? I thought it was 7
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah,
But-
7-inch reveal. So he's gonna have 7-inch reveal. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna look much better than how it looks for sure. There's no doubt. So
Yeah.
I was fine with it. I just the color. I was like, I put no on the color and circled it. But
Yeah,
it is
and
an
I can
approved
speak
one.
from experience with the Fibron. That stuff looks great, and it actually lasts really long. I've had it on my back deck for 6 years, no problems.
Nice. Does that come
Great
in
stuff.
fencing material too? Do you know?
The metal, they sell like a complimentary metal railing that goes with it. It's like powder coated aluminum
Yeah, nice.
that goes on it. Yeah, it's nice.
All right, so this one is a move to approve with Rich and Joe Jean for a second. Or Joe Jean, did you have comments on this one?
no, I'll second.
And I should also say I approve of the door color too, that evergreen fog. It's a nice color.
Well, I love this door picture. I drew a happy face on it. I thought it was pretty funny, actually. I was like, that cracked me up. Here's the door, man. What do you want? But yeah, that's fine. Okay, very good. I think that concludes the agenda items for today. Is there anything else you want to talk about publicly? Because we're still being recorded.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to call the meeting to adjournment at 10:10 a.m.
Is that by acclamation then?